There you can chant from first then.
Second section, no?
Second section. And Parikshalokan and the last verse, 13th verse twice.
Okay. So 12th and 13th twice.
Yes, yes.
तदेतत् सत्यं मन्त्रेषु कर्माणि कवयो यान्यपश्यन् तानि त्रेतायां बहुधा सन्ततानि तान्याचरथ नियतं सत्यकामाः एष वः पन्थाः सुकृतस्य लोके यदा लेलायते ह्यर्चिः समिद्धे हव्यवाहने तदाज्यभागावन्तरेण आहुतिः प्रतिपादयेत् यस्याग्निहोत्रमदर्शमपौर्णमासम् अचातुर्मास्यामनाग्रयणमतिथिवर्जितं च अहुतम् वैश्वदेवमविधिनाहुतम् आसप्तमांस्तस्य लोकान् हिनस्ति काली कराली च मनोजवाच सुलोहिताया च सुधूम्रवर्णा स्फुलिङ्गिनी विश्वरुची च देवी लेलायमाना इति सप्तजिह्वाः एतेषु यश्चरते भ्राजमानेषु यथा कालं चाहुतयो ह्याददायन् तं नयन्त्येताः सूर्यस्य रश्मयः यत्र देवानां पतिरेकोऽधिवासः एह्येहीति तमाहुतयः सुवर्चसः सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिर्यजमानं वहन्ति प्रियां वाचमभिवदन्त्योर्चयन्त्यः एष वः पुण्यः सुकृतो ब्रह्मलोकः लवाह्येते अदृढा यज्ञरूपाः अष्टादशोक्तमवरं येषु कर्मः एतत् श्रेयो ये अभिनन्दन्ति मूढाः जरामृत्युं ते पुनरेवापि यन्ति अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः स्वयं धीराः पण्डितं मन्यमानाः जङ्घन्यमानाः पर्यन्ति मूढाः अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः अविद्यायां बहुधा वर्तमानाः वयं कृतार्था इत्यभिमन्यन्ति बालाः यत्कर्मिणो न प्रवेदयन्ति रागात् तेनातुरा क्षीणलोकाश्च वन्ते इष्टापूर्तं मन्यमाना वरिष्ठं नान्यत् श्रेयो वेदयन्ते प्रमूढाः नाकस्य पृष्ठे ते सुकृतेनु भूत्वा इमं लोकं हीनतरं वा विशन्ति तपश्रद्धेये ह्युपवसन्त्यरण्ये शान्ता विद्वांसो भैक्षचर्यां चरन्तः सूर्यद्वारेण ते विरजाः प्रयान्ति यत्रामृतः स पुरुषो हव्ययात्मा परीक्ष्य लोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायान्नास्त्य कृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिः श्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं परीक्ष्य लोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायान्नास्त्य कृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिः श्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठम् तस्मै स विद्वानुपसन्नाय सम्यक् प्रशान्तचित्ताय शमान्विताय येनाक्षरं पुरुषं वेद सत्यं प्रोवाच तां तत्त्वतो ब्रह्मविद्यां तस्मै स विद्वानुपसन्नाय सम्यक् प्रशान्तचित्ताय शमान्विताय येनाक्षरं पुरुषं वेद सत्यं प्रोवाच तां तत्त्वतो ब्रह्मविद्याम्.
Very beautiful chanting. Thank you, Vidya. So, Hariom to all. So, we are doing Mundakopanishad reflection. which starts with a question, very interesting question by the student, that what is that by knowing which I will know everything. So what is that one by which I will know everything? This is the main question. So the question itself is interesting because in our day-to-day life, when we see by knowing English, I cannot know Sanskrit. By knowing engineering, I cannot know doctorate. I cannot know anything about medical science. So whatever we think in this day-to-day life, we cannot have anything in this world which can fulfill this condition what the student is asking. So the answer to this question the teacher gave is you have to know one thing, but there are two things to know. Actually, teacher would have directly told what is that one thing, but he told no, there are two things. There are two knowledges: lower knowledge, higher knowledge. The lower knowledge you are familiar with, and the lower knowledge is called aparavidya, and the higher knowledge is paravidya. Lower knowledge is about knowledge about perishable knowledge which can give us happiness and success in this transactional world, but it will not give total fulfillment in life. It will not remove my self ignorance, and any branch of knowledge will not ensure that I will know everything. So we must know what is a fundamental principle of Mundakopanishad. What is the question and what would be the answer? Is that if you know the material cause of something, you know everything about the effects of it. If I know what is gold, then I know everything about ornaments. But suppose a person is there who knows about ornaments, names and forms, but do not know that it is made up of gold. That is the person who comes to Mundaka Upanishad and then he realizes, oh, all names and forms are made up of gold only. So the answer is this. So this fundamental principle is clear. Now the next topic, what in the second khanda, what was taken was two pointers, that what are the limitations of aparavidya, what is the limitation of karma, what is the result of karma, is abhyudaya. In our day-to-day life, that time, suppose I say abhyudaya, in Vedic period it was known. Today, if I say, okay, to open the Zoom, just click the password, now you know what is to be done. So the entire process is known. So in today's world, aparavidya would give what? Security, pleasure, fame, power, money, wealth, prosperity, success, but it is not giving me fulfillment, total fulfillment. The limitations of actions were shown by taking the example of Agnihotra, where you have to put the exact timing, exact duration, and follow all the kind of conditions to get the result of that particular action. So that is a main point in that entire example taken in detail. Now, looking at the student's face, sometimes the screens are on, so I can see some of the people also, not all. But sometimes, when we discuss with another person and talk to another person, there is no expression on the face. You crack a joke also, there is no expression. So here, this is my imagination, that here the teacher would have seen some doubt in this students, on the student's face. Yeah, I have faith on you. I have surrendered to you. I have understood, but I am not convinced, 100%. And that is very important. So the 12th sloka in this Mundakopanishad, we will mention, as Swamiji will also mention, Swamiji has already mentioned twice, and Adi Shankaracharya also mentions in his Shankar Bhashya, this 12th verse is the important verse, loaded verse with lot of pointers for us to reflect. So when this expression the teacher would have seen on the student face, the teacher is giving logic and inviting student to introspect one's own life. So now we have to introspect what is my life, how I have spent my life, and why I have come to Mundaka Upanishad. So, first sentence is very, very highly loaded with lot of reflection to do. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana. So now pariksha lokan means examine our own life. What is our life? I was born, I do not know why through these parents only, why not through another parents? I do not know where I was born, why I was born here only with this set of relatives. Then I don't know why I went to school because I didn't want to do homework, so much of homework, then college, then job, then business, then marriage, then travel, then house, and then, grandchildren. Finish. I don't know when the exit will happen. There are so many questions. And then when I actually ponder over, I think I have successful and happy. I have got what normally would 8 billion people would do. I am that way happy if you talk. But that total fulfillment is not there. So now here, this Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Brahmana. So now we have to analyze it properly. So with this background, we will see last time we saw quickly Pariksha Lokan, but today we will see again because it is an important verse in the Mundaka Upanishad. And I have to also introspect and ask about myself. There are so many questions I have. And I must analyze two things, my life and the world. Lokan means world. And Karma Chitan means I have to analyze my karma also. So let us, with that background, analyze it technically and through using various parameters. So, as we mentioned in the Shankar Bhashya, this is given in detail. So now we have to make make a note, those who are writing, what are the points covered in this? Why this verse is called as important? Because lot of important pointers are covered. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana. Nirveda maya. So we will discuss one word what it means. So what is the literal meaning of this? Let a Brahmin. Now here Brahmin means not Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. A Brahmin is a upasak of imperishable. And Satkami is a upasak of aparavidya, abhyudaya. So now, who is a person who comes for Mundaka Upanishad? Very important point. People think, if you had a breakup or you're sad in life or you are disappointed in life and so you are coming to Mundaka Upanishad and spiritual knowledge. No, no, no. Actually, people who are highly ambitious are coming to spiritual knowledge because they have seen now what is I have got, but they want now permanent, unbroken, continuous happiness. So, very important point to note, those who are highly ambitious, they are interested in spiritual knowledge, Paravidya. Suppose you go and tell a student that, student says, no, no, I'm okay with 35 marks. He says, no, at least be little ambitious, at least have 50. No, no, 50, no, no, at least have 60. So, one myth we are destroying, that people who are into spiritual life are, have given up everything, nothing to do, so they are attending this. No, this is the highest vocation of life. And how the person has come? By examining this world that are gained by works. Work means karma. And one realizes that it is not possible for gaining total fulfillment infinite by finite karma. And to understand that, a student approaches a guru with fuel in the hand. That we will see what is the meaning. So this is a literal meaning. Now we will analyze. So upasak of perishable, aparavidya, is called as satkami. Why is called as a satkami? Because he is following the Vedic principles and he is a noble person doing all puja, all yagas, and following noble means. So he is a satkami. And who is a upasak of imperishable of and or paravidya is a brahmin. So that is pariksha lokan karmajitan brahmana. How an aparavidya sadhak becomes a paravidya upasak? Take by taking a U-turn, by pariksha lokan. If I am not introspecting, if I am not asking important questions, people are just living. Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda says 99% people are going for something which is so low in life. You must go for the higher one. And that can only happen when I start asking difficult questions to myself and not assuming that there are no answers to these questions. What is examination of our life? So, number one point, everyone want happiness and avoid suffering. There are only two motives for every human being. I want to be happy and I want to avoid suffering. Action is taken only for two things. Now, when this person sees this, and these are natural desires, when a person sees this, from where will I get happiness? He looks around and misses one important point because he doesn't look at oneself. Sees around and assumes that, okay, this is the world, Lokan. From this world, I have to be happy. I have to get happiness. Like yesterday itself, I was discussing in ashram with brahmacharis. They say, when this particular attitude becomes, everything becomes a bhoga vastu. And that's the reason there is a lot of discussion that women are looked at as a sense object of desire, pleasure. Because everything becomes a bhoga vastu then. Because this world is going to give me happiness, if that is an assumption, then there are three things in the world: people, object, situation. From that, somehow I have to acquire happiness. That becomes my motive in life. And I can maximize my happiness how in this world? By doing maximum karma. Now, here is where the trap happens. The trap starts happening. Karma chitan, then the person starts analyzing, which we have already done in the second section, second khanda of this chapter. This entire analysis was done that for karma, there are a lot of things to be managed. It has to be done on proper time. There has to be rules to be followed, principles to be followed, availability of everything. And then I will get happiness. But what is that kind of happiness what I will get? Let us use different pramana. So in praman vichar, there are different pramanas. But in pratyaksha praman, when we use, we see happiness comes only sometimes, but this happiness comes out of fear. What is that fear? I will lose this happiness. So people, when they get something, then will go to temple that please protect it because it has. Whatever I get, I will have a fear of losing it. One of the saint, J.K. Krishnamurti, had one sentence written in his book, where there is no fear, there is no need of God. So my happiness is loaded with fear. Touch wood kind of happiness. Second observation, more efforts, less happiness. Like Gurudev says, those when we are in college, the only thing what we think is that maximum happiness when I will get my first job and I will get my first salary. That day I will be happy. And the person joins the job and then he gets entangled into the politics of the job that when he gets the salary, he is so disappointed that his colleague got more than him. So all happiness gone. So the efforts are huge and we realize that happiness is very flittering. And that's the reason if you ask people, please tell your happy moment, there will be few. Please tell your frustrating, angry, disappointed, irritating moments, hundreds of them they will tell. Because we don't remember happy moments. In gaining happiness, there is loss, time, money, energy. Whatever you do, there will be loss of time, money, energy. Unavoidable loss. And the happiness is always in the future. Because the moment I assume that the happiness location is in the world, it will be postponed. It will be paroksha, it will be far off. And for that, I will have to put lot of karma. So that analysis we have done, but this examination again we are doing here. Anuman Praman, see the Vyapti. Vyapti means relationship. Where there is smoke, there will be fire. That is an inference. So many people assume that money is equal to happiness, relationship is equal to happiness, security, power, fame. This is happiness, but it is very temporary because it can go. So another analysis. Agama means Shastra. Shastra Brahman. What Shastra says about this world? Jayate gacchati iti jagata. That is a definition of jagata. Means world is constantly changing, impermanent and temporary. So be intelligent and do not seek permanent happiness in impermanent relationship, security, power, fame, money, because it can go. That itself is temporary. The world itself is temporary. So important statement to note. Enjoy the change, but seek the changeless. Anek anartha. Shankaracharya says, Anek anartha. Problems in the world are many. Wars are there, dukkha is there, health problems, age problems, failure, disappointments, death, cycle of rebirth, continuous problem. Now you might say, why are you picturing this kind of color of the world? World is very beautiful, but it is to create vairagya. It is to create nirveda maya. Vairagya will not come unless we see dosha or dukkha. So what is world? This is a description in various shastra. It's like an empty banana tree. The banana tree, it seems when you open it, is empty in between. It's illusory like a mirage water, cannot quench thirst. It's dream-like like a Gandharva Nagar. Gandharva Nagar is an example taken in our Shastra. Like, that person sits on the cot and then he dreams only that one day I will do this, one day I will have this, one day I will do this, and then it is in the dream only. And it's temporary like droplet on a leaf, Adi Shankaracharya's. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam, tadvat jivati atishaya chapalam. It is like one drop. So then what to do? Okay, I've understood, examine, then what to do? So very important point, whenever this question comes, what to do in life, we must only focus on answer is sadhana chatushtaya. But here, before sadhana chatushtaya, who will give that? What has been given here? That Upasak asks, okay, is it worth putting so much of effort for worldly impermanent happiness and keep fulfilling desires? Is there something what I can get, something what I know one? By knowing which, getting one, I will know everything, I will gain everything. So that is an interesting deal. So this Shaunaka and Mahashala is a very intelligent person is asking, suppose I gain one, can I get everything? And again, I don't have to put efforts. So Nirveda Maya, why all this examination is required? Because by examination, Vairagya, desirelessness, must happen. So why this teacher is telling this? Because now he wants to create Vairagya in the Shaunaka's mind, because unless and until there is Vairagya for Aparavidya, the person will not focus on Paravidya. Then the Upasak understands and resolves two things. What? I want to come out of the karma cycle. Why? Because finite cannot give infinite. Karma is finite, but I want infinite happiness. Now I have experienced temporary happiness. Is there a possibility? Spirituality, Upanishad 6, 1000%. So many people have experienced it. I want permanent, unbroken, fearless happiness. That is the definition of moksha. Paramananda prapti, atyantik dukkha nivrutti. What to do? Move from aparavidya to paravidya. How? Tad vijnanartham. Means guru meva bhigachet. Means approach a guru. What kind of guru? Kshotriyam Brahmanishtam, with expertise and experience both. Why it has been mentioned? What is the qualification given of a guru? Brahmanishta, enlightened one. And Stotriya, Kshotriya, why? One who has heard from Parampara and the Vedic knowledge and then giving that Vedic knowledge to others. Why only not enlightened mentioned? Because how would we know who is enlightened? Guruji mentioned in Vibhuti recently that it is very easy to know Brahman. It is not at all or very difficult to know the knower of Brahman. We just cannot label person this he's realized, he's not realized, he's enlightened, he's not enlightened, because Narayan Bhagwan can come in any form. How do we know? So very easy to understand Brahman attributes, but very difficult to identify who is a knower of Brahman. So Kshotriya is very important, who actually has studied the knowledge from a Guru Shishya Parampara, and then that Parampara is followed. Not one's own mind what the knowledge I want to give. I'm not creating another shakha. I'm just giving whatever has been coming from the Guru Parampara in its pristine form. And the next verse we will see that it has to be given for a person who is eligible. One cannot say no. स्वामी अद्वैतानंद जी से पुस्तक से उस तक नहीं पहुंच सकते. आई रिपीट अगेन, पुस्तक से उस तक नहीं पहुंच सकते. पुस्तक और मस्तक के बीच में आचार्य चाहिए. Many people say, I will read just, Upanishad, I will read, then I will understand. Some people say, no, I want to now learn Sanskrit, because then I don't have to depend on another person's interpretation. No, it is not like that. This knowledge is called as Shruti. It has to be heard from a person who is following the parampara and has experienced it. Otherwise, the essence will not reach. It will remain as only information level, and one text after another text I will be reading. So what is the message? Should not read Brahma Vidya on one's own without hearing it from a guru. Very important one. As Swamiji said in his session, Ajkal YouTube has become one guru. YouTube is not a guru. Because we only understand, this point has to be noted, we only understand certain thing because of the teacher sadhana and the depth of his understanding. The student understands that time, because it comes from the heart and it reaches to the heart, and it can only happen when there is a tuning. The tuning word is very important, which has been given in this verse also, and next verse again expounded what is that tuning. Without tuning, it cannot be transferred. And the Shishya asks about two things, not about perishable, not about aparavidya, not about abhyudaya, not again, like people say that Guruji says, people come and Guruji, when will my son will get married, when I will have grandchild, all this kind of thing. When we go to Guru, we must ask three things what the Guru has, Jnana, Vairagya, Shanti. वो कोई पूछता ही नहीं है. So what is the Upasak does? He brings the Samidha, dried, Samit Pani. What symbolizes Vairagya, surrender and faith. Samit Pani are the dried figs, wood. When he is coming to the Guru, he brings those and then offers at his feet, and that is a symbolism of that dry fig. That is, I am having Vairagya towards Apara. Another, because dried figs are required for in the Yajnashala, in the Gurukul. So that is Seva, surrender, and I have faith on you. Now I have left this Paravidya and come to Aparavidya. What is the key essence? Pariksha Lokan in one sentence. 4-5 things are given. The wise seeker examines life deeply. Point number 1. Sees the limits of actions. Point number 2. Renounces the blind pursuits of results. Point number 3. Turns to a realized teacher, point number 4, and then surrenders with faith and Vairagya, point number 5. So these are the 5 points covered in this verse, so it is considered as one of the important verses. Next verse, In all Upanishads, somewhere there will be qualification of a seeker given. Who is a seeker of Paravidya? Here two indicators are given. Prashanta Chittaya, Shamanvitaya. But what is important to note is that how do we know it has been mentioned? Samyaka, the Shishya approaches duly. Duly means earlier Vedic period they used to know what is Samyaka. Like suppose I tell you, you go to Zoom and just put your, what do you call, code, then you know what is to be done. The entire process, you know how to open the Zoom, open the laptop. I don't have to explain anything. So duly approached means Vivek Vairagya Mumukshatvam indicated. Because he comes with Vivek, and he's done Vivek about Nitya, Anitya. He has Vairagya towards Abhyudaya, Aparavidya, and he has intense desire to know the truth now. And that's the reason that question he asked, that I want to know something by knowing which I will know everything. Prashant Chittayak, Shaman Vitayak, Shata Sampatti indicated. So, what are the four qualifications required of a qualified sadhak? R is called as sadhana chatushtaya indicated. What Vivek? Vivek is discrimination between what? Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. Between real and unreal. Between changing and permanent. That only will create Vairagya. Vairagya definition is dispassion and detachment. What is Shata Sampatti? Six virtues, inner wealth. When many people ask what is the purpose of marriage, business, job, the purpose is to earn wealth, inner wealth and outer wealth both. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. Shama means control of mind. Dama means control of senses and organs of action. Uparati means at will I can withdraw my mind from the Aparavidya world. Titiksha means forbearance for attaining the goal, any obstacle comes. Shraddha means faith, Samadhan means equanimity. What I am going to do is that this topic is beautifully explained because Upanishad will only indicate one or two and say this is sadhana chatushtaya, the student will understand. Vivek Chudamani is the text in which this is given in detail. So what I will do, instead of enumerating here in this session, after this session is over, I am going to post 2 to 3 slides on this sadhana chatushtaya. One can read it. It is self-explanatory. But giving in detail with the definition what is given in Vivek Chudamani. What is mumukshatva? Intense desire for liberation. Now my desire is partial. I want family also. I want job also. I want business also. I want material comforts also. I want to, here also I want, but then Bhagwan says, कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ छोड़ना पड़ता है. If you want Nishreyasa, you have to leave Abhyudaya. When Kabir Das ji went in search of his guru, the guru said the same thing. That अगर मुझे पाना है तो कुछ छोड़ना पड़ेगा. कबीर दास जी says, I have left everything now. He said, आपने आपको नहीं छोड़ा हुआ है. You have not left that I. When you leave that I, then you will come to me, attain me. So this is the completion of the chapter 1, section 2, Dvitiya Khanda. So Aparavidya cannot give me permanent unbroken happiness. That is a conclusion, limitation of actions we have seen. So what is Paravidya? From henceforth, from chapter 2 and chapter 3, Khanda 1, Khanda 2, Khanda 1, Khanda 2, 4 sections, Paravidya is discussed. So Vidya, can you read first and second?
द्वितीयं मुण्डकं प्रथमः खण्डः तदेतत् सत्यं यथा सुदीप्तात् पावकात् विस्फुलिङ्गाः सहस्रशः प्रभवन्ते सरूपाः तथाक्षरात् विविधाः सौम्यभावाः प्रजायन्ते तत्र चैवापि यन्ति दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः पुरुषः स बाह्याभ्यन्तरो ह्यजः अप्राणो ह्यमना शुभ्रः ह्यक्षरात् परतः पर. So 2 times.
Okay, once more.
Okay. तदेतत् सत्यं यथा सुदीप्तात् पावकात् विस्फुलिङ्गाः सहस्रशः प्रभवन्ते सरूपाः तदाक्षरात् विविधाः सौम्यभावाः प्रजायन्ते तत्र चैवापि यन्ति दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः पुरुषः स बाह्याभ्यन्तरो ह्यजः अप्राणो ह्यमना शुभ्रः ह्यक्षरात् परतः परः.
Correct. So, what are the topics here in first and second? How from one many appears coming. That appears word is very important. This question comes to all of us. Where have I come from? From my parents. The parents have come from their parents. But where this entire universe has come from and where I'll be going back? Where am I heading towards? And then how to be happy between birth and death and why there are so many limitations in this life, time limitation, space limitation, object limitation. And here this second chapter also starts with what? Tadayeta Satyam. So we have to go back, and homework for today is that there was another Tadayeta Satyam mentioned here earlier. How can there be two truths? So what is the definition of truth given in Shastra? That which cannot be negated, abaditam. That which cannot be negated by time, space, object, and that truth can only one. That is, I am Brahman and this world is illusory. Earlier also, Tadeta Satyam was mentioned. That was transactional truth. What was mentioned there? That karma prescribed by Vedas will give happiness and success. That is also truth, but that is called as transactional truth. And this truth, what has been mentioned is Tadeta Satyam is paramarthik truth, absolute truth, that if you want to have permanent, unbroken, continuous happiness, then there is only one truth, and that is Akshara Tattva, which you have to know it. And there is in between one more, Pratibhasik Satya, appearing truth. The world is only an appearance. That is one truth. The world is transactionally real. That is another truth. And from the Brahman point of view, Akshara point of view, there is no world only. So this is the truth. What is a literal meaning? As from a blazing fire, sparks essentially akin fly by the thousand. In the same way, O my dear Saumya, that is he calls him Saumya, various beings come forth from the imperishable Brahman and go back to Brahman. So where have we come from? Brahman. Where are we going to go back? Brahman. So what is our home? Brahman. This is this planet Earth. Life is all a temporary place, a resort, a kind of guest. Very important. Now Upanishad is saying still we are not believing, because here after listening to this, what is the implication? The implications are important. We must drop mineness, because this is not mine. When I go to resort, I do not take the flower pot from there and bed from there saying it is mine. We might become some tissue papers and some napkin and towel. The resort owner says, okay, okay, Jano, the Bhagwan says, okay, okay. But you say this bed is mine only, this manager is mine only. I like the receptionist is mine. There's a problem there. Then Bhagwan says, I will show you now. Now I will give you so much of suffering, then you will have vairagya towards resort and then you will run away. That's the reason suffering is given by the Lord to people to create vairagya, otherwise vairagya hota nahi hai. So these are the implications. We will see the implications are important. So what is the analogy given? From the fire innumerable sparks come. In the same way from Brahman innumerable beings come, bhavaha, and it goes back again. Implication. What is the implication? Brahman is my real nature, home. I have come here as a guest, stay here as a guest, enjoy and go back. Don't try to say it is mine. Nothing is mine. Everything belongs to God. If you remember, those who have done Ishavasya Upanishad, first mantra is the same mantra. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Tena taktena bhunjita ma grudak kasya sviddanam. Why are you owning it? Why are you possessing it? Everything belongs to Isha Ishvara. Question. Fire and sparks have similar nature, but they have differences also, big and small. Fire is big, sparks are small. Why? Now, very important point. Fire big is like Ishwar and spark is like Jiva, and this difference is due to Upadhi. So, this word I have to note down. It is due to wood, not due to fire. Conclusion. Small big differences is due to Upadhi. And in Bhagavad Gita also it has been mentioned, Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke, you are my Ansha. And that Ansha is only different when you are relating from your name and form. So Upahit is Brahman and Upadhis are conditioning. So we must remember these two terminologies. The essential nature of fire and sparks is same. The essential nature of Brahman and mine is same. Aham Brahmasmi. Question. How from one many has come? They appear due to many upadhis, conditioning. Upadhis are what? Nam and Rupa. And what is the definition? That which differentiates, creates varieties is Nama Rupa only. Example, one space creates many spaces in many pots. There is one building and say this is my space, this is my space, this is my flat. But from the space point of view, it is one space only. When the building is broken, there is no different spaces. It's one. So one Atma, variety of creatures, humans, animal, plants, insects, objects. Still coming down, one Atma, Upahit. Upadhis are conditioning like five koshas and three bodies, whatever we talk. Three bodies are causal, subtle, gross. Pralaya. When pralaya happens, innumerable beings again go back. Creation, dissolution happens of upadhis, not upahita. And it has been mentioned here that this is also imperishable. Further, it because this also is a process going on. Continuously, beings are coming out, universes are coming out and going back. Coming out, going back, sustaining, creating, sustaining, dissolution, going back. So, this is not the first time we are living this life. People think that life is very significant. No, no, it has happened infinite times. All these things have happened. Very important point. What is pralaya in our? I am not interested in pralaya of Brahmaji. What is our pralaya? Through knowledge, when the pralaya happens of ego, then I realize I am that. This so Swamiji mentioned in this verse there is Mahavakya given. What is that Mahavakya? That spark and fire is same. In the same way, you and Brahman are same. After listening to this, I don't have any joy. I am just thinking when I am going to sleep. What a tragedy because I am not feeling it. That me and Brahman are same, me and God are same, Aham Brahmasmi. So this description is from the Sopadhic point of view. Now Nirupadhic point of view in next verse. So we'll take 3 minutes more and complete it. Swamiji has completed these two verses. So now here from in the earlier verse, from the Sopadik, from the Upadhi point of view, the description was given. Now here Upadhis are not taken into consideration. Directly the descriptions are given. Like for example, you can be described. Like one can say she is the wife of him. So that is from another relationship. She is the manager in the office from the office point of view. She is the mother of two from the child point of view. And then say we can say, no, no, her name is this and she is 5 feet and she is fair. So that is now without any upadhi. I am directly talking about that person. So how many are given? We will see attributes. Divyo means self-luminous. Self-luminous means sentient. Means I have to just close my eyes and then ask. One truth will come. I know that I am. That cannot be denied. And that is pure consciousness. The knower of I am is pure consciousness. Implication, I am not inert. I illumine everything. First, I illumine the ego, then ego illumines the intellect, intellect illumines the mind illumines the world. I illumine the world. And all these qualifications are given of myself. So when I'm listening to it, I must actually feel that, oh, scripture is defining me as I'm looking in the mirror. Yamurta, formless, no shape, no color. What is the implication? Don't search. You are that. Just be. Just be. Purusha. What is the definition of Purusha? Purnat Purusha or Purishayanat Purusha. Two definition. What is the implication? I am whole and complete. I lack nothing. And search within, because Puri means it is there in my core heart itself. I don't have to go. कबीर दास says, मुको कहा ढूंढे रे बंदे, मैं तो तेरे पास में हूं. And you are searching here and there. Sabhayabhyantaro, all pervading, both within and without, like space inside and outside the pot. The space is not destructible. Building collapse, universes come, earth will come or go, solar system will come and go, the space will remain within and without, outside and inside. Implication, I don't have to go anywhere, I am everywhere. What a beautiful description about me. And I have bucket list and I want to do this, I want to see this. Here say, no, no, why you want to go? You are everywhere, all pervading. Just know that one thing and you know everything. Yaja, uncreated, no six modifications. Existence, birth, growth, change, decay, death. So this, what is the implication? I become stressless, no stress. Otherwise, maximum stress people have. Arey, I'm growing old. I cannot walk. I will become old. Then I will go in hospital. Then this disease. Then this hospital. This medicine. So much of stress. Here, Bhagavan is saying, no, no, no. Yaja, you are uncreated. No modifications. Aprano yammana. Beyond prana, mind, five koshas, without movement like pranas and mind. Implication, conscious is not a thought or imagination that I can think of consciousness. I can contemplate about it to merge into it, but it is not a thought. It is not an imagination. It is not a concept. It is me only. Shubhra, pure, without avidya. I am not an ignorant sinner. In another religion, they say your birth is out of sin. Here say, no, no, you are stainless, pure. Akshara, imperishable. What is the implication? This is very important. I am fearless. Be fearless. No fear because I am not going to die. Now, this I have to understand. Yaksharat parata para means transcends even imperishable. So, there are two imperishables. How can be something be higher than imperishable? There cannot be two infinites. There cannot be two imperishables. So what it means is that here Akshara means Maya or Prakriti. Akshara is beyond Maya and Prakriti. So we require Acharya like Adi Shankaracharya, Swamiji to explain what it means. Otherwise, somebody will read this and say, how can there be something higher than imperishable? So teach me that because I am interested in Paravidya. This will become Aparavidya. So this creation comes out of Prakriti, sustained by Prakriti, goes into the Prakriti. Brahman doesn't know only. If you just make a phone call to Brahman, Brahman just know, hello Brahman, what are you doing about creation? Brahman will say, I don't know what creation you're talking. If you make a call to sun, do you know what is darkness? Sun will not know darkness. So question, what is the relationship of Brahman with creation? And when you say creation came out of Maya, means what? How can you say there is no ornament in the gold? Please think about these questions. Does Brahman has become creation? Like milk becoming curd? Then Brahman has disappeared. So all these questions are answered into the next verse and further, and we will see what is the first khanda of this second chapter entirely devoted to process of creation. Thank you for remaining there for 2 minutes, 5 minutes extra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much.